Junkie Nation, what up? Gorgeous George and Goes always deliver. We got the champ, Belal Muhammad, here with us. Belal, I'm hearing you talked to Mike Bond, one of our guys out in LA. May sounds good, but I know that early on you had resisted some pushback about an interim bout because you said this injury ain't going to take that long. Did you have any setbacks, or is there a reason why maybe we may not see you till May?
No, I mean, I think I had literally 6 weeks off of doing nothing. So now just getting back into it, getting back in the mode. And for me, it was just like a lot of it's not even really my dates. They booked the March card of Ankalaev and Pereira. So
Yeah,
then you're looking at March, April, and then I don't know where April is. And then they brought up
Miami.
May, so I was like, yeah, May works. A lot of it's just also too just whenever like the pay per view slots are open. So I think
Well,
for me, March is Ramadan, so having the whole month of Ramadan for myself, and then training in April, and then fighting in May would be perfect.
in the past, you fought during Ramadan, but is that something you choose not to do now going forward, or?
Yeah, I mean, in the past, I think it was more so when you're chasing the belt, when you're trying to get there, you do anything possible to get to that point. So I'm always gonna say yes. For me now, it's like if I have a choice, obviously I would rather not fight during Ramadan.
Mhm.
It's not easy; it's hard.
Yeah.
So, and also having expecting to fight a Muslim fighter in Shavkat, I'm sure he doesn't want to fight during Ramadan either.
Credit to you. You have done it. I've seen other athletes in other sports do it. Hakeem Olajuwon from the Rockets did it as well. What would you advise Magomed Ankalaev in terms of how to prep? Because he's going to be, I think, coming off Ramadan, or it's going to be during Ramadan when he fights Pereira.
Yeah, the thing with him is it's the first week, right? So Ramadan starts the first week of March, and his is March 8th. So it's I mean it's wake up week for him regardless. But the like I said, for me, it's one of the biggest mental strengths that I gained during that month because you're not sitting there focusing on your opponent. You're focusing on pleasing God, being closer to your religion, closer to the people around you, your family, your loved ones. Um, being when you're fasting, you get more clear headedness out of everything, and I think it helps a lot of people during that
Mhm.
month. So I think for him, since it's early, I don't know if he'll gain the strength that I had during it, but yeah, I don't think it'll be hard for him.
Islam Makhachev, no, sorry, Arman Sarukian said prior to him pulling out, I'm fighting now for the belt, the legacy, but once I win, I'm going to fight for money. And so I think he was making it very clear that if he were to win the belt, he would want to defend against whoever gets him the most pay-per-views. How about you as far as money versus merit? How do you look at it?
I think the money's gonna come regardless, but for me, it's chasing like the GSP. I want to be the best welterweight to ever do it. Like I don't want to be when you're looking at resumes. I have probably one of the best resumes already. Like I think my resume is better than Usman's. Uh, a lot of his title defenses were rematches against Kobe, who we now know really does suck. And he fought Kobe twice, Masvidal twice, and then he fought Gilbert Burns. Like I'm looking for the next toughest test. I'm looking for all right, whoever's undefeated. This guy, who's on a streak. This guy. I'd rather fight the toughest guys. So at the end of the day, when people look back at what I did, I beat everybody they said I couldn't beat. I beat everybody when I was still the underdog. I beat everybody that they said that it wasn't possible, and I go out there and I made it look easy.
That said, because you are taking the clear number one contender at welterweight, so no one's going to have a problem on the merit side of things there. But that said, do you know, like, are you aware of who does sell pay-per-views in the welterweight division in case maybe it was a tiebreaker, maybe you had the option to choose merit versus money, or it was close. Do you know who the top guys are at welterweight?
I mean, at welterweight now, I would assume probably Usman, right? He's,
Mhm.
but I think a lot of those fights that he was in were, the build up of the Kobe fight or the Masvidal. Just you had the Masvidal aura, but I think I would say he would probably be the biggest name in the division uh, right now.
It was interesting that he said he thought you and Makachev should fight, but it was quick to point out, because I'm not trying to be a know-it-all here, but I thought it. But I was quick to point out in the comments section anywhere on social media, he had a reluctance to face Izzy at the time, But you kind of went another way route of clowning on the podcast name. But what were your thoughts on that? And Habib even saying, it's not something I want to oversee.
Yeah, it's so funny, right? When you have a guy like him, right? He's on a 3-fight losing streak. And he's not, when these guys are calling him out, he's acting like he's putting himself on this pedestal like he's still the champion, like they shouldn't be calling him out. But bro, you're just a podcaster now. You haven't fought in over a year. And if you're not gonna defend your ranking, then leave. Like, quit. Like, you're on a 3-5 losing streak. You should start looking at retirement now, or you're gonna get on that Tony Ferguson losing streak, and people are gonna forget that you were ever champion. Um, for me now, especially like with the way that he said it, I was like, bro, you've never trained with Adesanya in your life, and you made it seem like you guys would never fight. And he also said it with Habib. He said, I would never fight Habib, and you never trained with him either. But we do know that Kamaru never wanted to fight the toughest guys. He never looked for the toughest tests. He was that champion that would like, all right, well, I beat Kobe already. Let me get that rematch with Kobe. I think he deserves it. Or I beat Masvidal. Let me fight Masvidal again. And made it seem like he was fighting the next toughest guys, but he never fought the guys on a streak. When I beat Luke, he was on a 7-fight winning streak, and Luke waited as backup to them guys when they fought. He never gave him a shot. I was on a streak, and he acted like he didn't know who I was. So we seen it when he had his first tough title defense against Leon Edwards. He got knocked out, and then he lost again to him. He was never a guy that chased the toughest test. So it's funny that he's coming out now saying, "Oh yeah, these guys, they act like they train together. No, they should be fighting each other." And it's like, bro, are you still the welterweight? Are you still trying to chase the title? Do you think you still have a chance? Like, why don't you throw your name in the mix?
What would it take for him to be able to fight you? Like, what do you think would be fair? How many fights? Who would he have to go through? That sort of thing.
Usman? I just
Uh
need
huh.
Usman to get a win. Like, he sucks so bad right now. It's just embarrassing. Where I just feel bad for him. Like, he goes out there, you have to fight obviously somebody on the streak. I think Buckley called him out. Buckley's been killing it at 170. He just made Kobe look like a rookie. I think he goes out there and he figures out a way to beat him. Like, I know they were offered him JDM, but he turned it down because he's a coward. So I think now for him, it's now he's just waiting on the sidelines, trying to have that like Conor McGregor mentality of just like whenever a welterweight fight happens, just tweeting out, just so he gets attention or gets into headlines because people are forgetting about him. But yeah, he has to fight somebody on a streak, and he has to beat them to even be considered get a shot at this title.
When you look at a guy like Shavkat Rakhmonov, do you look at his game now, and is it just a matter of you being better than him that night, or do you look at it and say, I see holes in his game?
No, I definitely see holes in his game. We were training for him for 6 weeks, and we saw holes, patterns, and stuff. And then you gave me an extra 25 minutes to watch him, and those holes and patterns still came out. I just think that I'm the best welterweight in the world, and when guys fight me, it's a different type of pressure, it's a different type of pace, and they always break. There's levels to this, and I think that right now I'm at the highest level. There's not nobody that's going to be able to keep up with me or beat me.
Your run to the title, along with who you would have to go through here in probably the next year or two, when you think about those names and you lump them all together, where do you think that's going to rank in the history books as far as competition that you've had to go through? Because those are some beasts, dude. It's one after another.
Yeah, I think literally right now I'm right next to GSP on the list. Right, I got to defend the title, but I'm chasing him. Like my resume is better than Usman's resume. People could say whatever they want, but the guys that I beat are better than the guys that he beat, and I think that I'm surpassing him. So for me now, it's just continuing to do that. I got to beat two or three more guys, and then I'll be neck and neck with GSP. I think in this era, we have the best martial artists. We have the best guys, the toughest guys. Obviously, every year there's new young up and comers that are coming that have been doing it since they were 4 or 5 years old. Like, martial arts now is the highest level you're ever going to see it. And for me to be at the top of the division and beat these guys that have been doing it since they were 4 or 5 years old, that's what's going to get people to finally give me the respect that I deserve.
Well, Al, you don't feel like you need to maybe acquire some title defenses to maybe start surpassing the Woodleys, Militiches, Hugheses of the world, even Usman. I mean, I understand the resume. You had a long road to the title, so you kind of wiped off a lot of those names in that process. But doesn't it seem to change in terms of now you got the target on you and they're gunning for you, so therefore you even have to rise to another level?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, like I said, I still got to get title defenses. I'm just looking at guys, right, that I've beaten, and it's just like Luke could have fought for the belt. Even when I beat Wonder Boy, if he would have beaten me, they would probably give him a title shot just based off his name. Beating a guy like Maya, even Gilbert Burns, who was on a streak, and they were going to give him the title shot. A lot of those guys, they would have got the title shot way before me if they would have beat me at the time that I beat them. So for me, having to beat those guys when they were at their best and make it look, fairly easy. I haven't been in a tough fight recently. So and going out there and beating Leon, who beat Usman twice, who people thought was the GOAT. And I made it look easy against Leon. So if I go out there now and I beat, you know, take another guy's O and Shavkat, take another guy's O and or beat another guy and like, JDM or the hot Buckleys or the Protesses, it's like my resume is going to be up there with those guys. I think nowadays there's a different level to even get to the title fight. The guys, there's nobody that had to do what I had to do to get to the title shot. A lot of these guys had like 3 or 4 fight winning streaks and they would get there. For me, I had to go on a 10 fight streak of beating the toughest guys, but it only made me better, only made me hungrier. And it just doing those camps and doing that level of fighting, it made me feel like I was a champion already.
Definitely impressive, the run, man. You haven't lost in 6 years and almost 12 fights without taking an L. That's incredible. I know we're a minute or two over, and I apologize, but I want
Now
to
you're
sneak
good.
in one more. And I think you're going to like this one. I kind of am warm to you in the Royal Rumble. Are you talking about the one coming to Vegas, or is this something where you'd have to prep a whole year and get these title defenses out of the way and then do it in 2026?
No, the Royal Rumble is going to Indianapolis. It's going to be Indianapolis. I think
This year?
WrestleMania is going to be in Vegas.
Oh, the Royal Rumble. Yeah, you're right. I'm an idiot. Okay. Okay.
Yes. So like that's where I'm trying to go to. I'm going to go there anyway to support my boy Punk. But maybe we'll get a number in a walkout.
How have you trained pro? I know you wrestled, but have you trained pro wrestling at all, or would you be winging it out there?
No, I mean when I was a kid, we were like me and my brothers. We would literally do like ladder matches in the backyard, off the garage. Like I was that guy that we would always do it. Like I loved wrestling when I was coming up, and yeah, I think a lot of it's just having athletic ability and just doing stuff that you watch. I'm a guy that if I see something, I'll be able to implement it. I'll be able to do it. So, bro, that would be like a dream come true just to be able to go out there and get thrown off the top rope.
Would the UFC sign off on something like that? You think if you explain to them that maybe you'll be one of the last ones to come in and you'll limit what takes place that night?
I hope so, man. That'll be fun, man. I think it'll only build, especially that TKO and the UFC they're connected now, so they're all under one umbrella. But yeah, man. Hopefully Uncle Dan will give us that spot.
I think you could pull it off, man. I've seen Logan Paul become a star, but even just Bad Bunny and who is it?
Yeah, if Bad
McAfee.
Bunny could do it, I could do it.
McAfee went out there and they actually didn't have the worst performances at all. I thought they represented. So I think a professional athlete like you could really do well.
Yeah, they literally had the Costco guys in there. So I'm like, bro, if those guys could do it, I could do it.
Last thing, man, give some love. Mike Valley, Lewis Taylor. Valley got Coach of the Year. You and Juliana Pena winning titles in 2024, very impressive. But that whole Chicago circuit, I know you started off at Rufus Fort, but Chicago now has so many fighters, training there. Bahamundes and then Yair. But what did that mean to the gym and to your coaches?
Bro, it meant so much just the fact that like you guys brought it up, right? A lot of the other websites weren't even bringing his name up. But he's not like a big talker. He doesn't like to be in front of the camera. He doesn't care about it. For him, he just likes to let the results speak for themselves. So for us to be a small gym in Chicago, we got like 20, 25 guys in there. But we're all winning. We ended the year super strong. We had Ignacio Balmundes, Carlos Fernandez, Charlie Radke, Pena, and myself all take wins to end the year, and we're the only gym in the world with two champions. We're the only gym in the world that has two current title holders. And when you're thinking about all these other big gyms who have 100, UFC fighters under the umbrella and this and that, yeah, I'm just proud. I'm just proud that people are starting to realize who he is and speak his name, because he's one of the best coaches that I've ever had and one of the best minds for the sport. And like I said, he doesn't ask for anything. He doesn't do it. He just goes out there and just wants the fighters to win. He wants the fighters to go out there and earn it for themselves. And a lot of the stuff that happens in our gym is just hard work and motivation. And I think that our year is only going to get bigger this year. We're going to keep going. And yeah, I'm just hoping that, more websites will make him the coach of the year. More websites are going to talk about him, interview him, and people are going to remember that, or put him in that list of top coaches to ever do it.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up the ceasefire. I don't know if you want to comment on it or not, but I just want to congratulate you for being one of the leaders or one of the faces of the people of Palestine. And I can tell by the pictures, the videos that I've seen, how much you've meant to them. So I just want to tip my hat to you in that regard.
No, I appreciate you, and I appreciate you bringing it up. It's like it's hard, right? Because people are celebrating a ceasefire, but it's like it took 400, 500 days for this to happen, and it tells me that you could have did it with a snap of a finger if they really wanted to, because they do, all of a sudden they do it right before Trump gets in office, and it's Biden wanted to do it so Biden could, say that he did it instead of Trump. But it just tells me that they could have stopped it the whole time. They could have ended it the whole time. But a ceasefire is not enough. These people need more than that. It shouldn't be a pause in action, a pause in killing young kids. It shouldn't be a pause. It should be an end. And these people deserve freedom. They deserve to live lives and have real futures. And I'm hoping that, finally, now that the world's woken up, that it starts happening.
I agree. Thanks for the time, champ. I know it's busy for you here with you coming back from LA and doing that seminar for them kids. That was pretty cool. And then I know you walked through a lot of LA and saw some of that devastation. Anything that brings attention to the rebuild there, the rebuild in the Middle East. I mean, you're doing some good stuff, man. So thank you.
No, I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, man. Even being over there, like I said, to be able to teach those young kids, it's a great program. The Guardians, BJJs,
Yeah.
they're in like inner city youth, and they're like there's cops over there that are driving these kids to the gym every day just to keep them there, and they're not
That's
charging them,
cool.
and they're giving them food and stuff. It was a great program, great time, and yeah, being able to do that was priceless.
Yeah. Thanks, champ, for the time, man. Sorry to go over, but I think we covered some good stuff.
Nah, you're good, brother. Appreciate you guys, man.
All right.